Good afternoon. Welcome to Skedlive. I'm your host, Sequeira, and here are your top stories for the day. 3,700 York University teaching assistants and contract professors voted Monday night to go on strike. This follows in the footsteps of the University of Toronto's 6,000 TAs who walked off the job on Friday. More than 1,100 members of the Canadian Union of Public Employees, CUPE 3903, attended the meeting, with 71% voting to turn down the offer. All classes, exams, and academic activities were suspended, although York facilities such as libraries, residence, computer labs, cafeterias, and athletic facilities are still open for use. This leaves 100,000 U of T and York undergrads across the GTA in trouble as their final stretch of the year fast approaches. In international news, Canadian pastor Hayan Su Lim is missing after his trip to North Korea. Reverend Su Lim, 60, has failed to return after his humanitarian mission to North Korea. The Canadian government has reached out to try to locate him. Su Lim has made several trips to North Korea, where he helps in nursing homes, a nursery, and an orphanage in the Raijin region. Members of his church had speculated that Su Kim could be caught up by North Korea's quarantine by foreign travelers who may have been exposed to Ebola. The quarantine program ended Monday. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is speaking in front of Congress today, proposing sanctions on Iran. Netanyahu was invited by John Boehner, not the White House, to join the conversation, but insists he is not snabbing Obama. The negotiations are aimed to stop Iran from building a nuclear bomb. From the International Atomic Energy Agency has found that Iran is not to be a nuclear threat. A massive volcano has erupted in Pucón, Chile. The Villica volcano erupted around 3 a.m., according to Chile's National Emergency Office, which immediately issued a red alert and ordered evacuations. The 9,000-foot volcano sits on Chile's Central Valley, 670 kilometers south of Santiago, a small city of Pucón. Chile has more than 2,000 volcanoes, and about 90 of them remain active. Switching over to technology, Samsung and BlackBerry have both unveiled their new and improved smartphone devices. Samsung announced on Monday that they are scrapping their Galaxy phone's plastic design in exchange for more stylish and metal glass, with the unveiling of the Galaxy S6 and S6 Edge. The announcement comes on the eve of this week's Mobile World Congress Wireless Show in Barcelona, Spain. Meanwhile, BlackBerry announced early this morning that they are going to release a new phone, the all-touch BlackBerry Leap, and the teased a curved slider phone that made a brief appearance on stage. Both BlackBerry and Samsung plan to go head-to-head with Apple as the who makes the better phone race comes to a tight corner. The Galaxy S6 Edge curves around the left-hand side so the information can be glanced on the side. Rob Ford's friend and one-time driver Alexander Lisi began his preliminary hearing on Monday on extortion charges. These charges relate to the infamous crack video, which shows the former mayor allegedly smoking crack cocaine. The offenses occurred in May 2013, following the Ford admitting the use of the hard drug. Lisi, 36, is charged with threats of violence and other illegal means in the effort to retrieve the cell phone. The judge placed a publication ban on evidence presented during the hearing. It's roll up the rim to win season at Tim Hortons, and Skedline reporter Nuren Yemyu asked Humber College students if they have been lucky or unlucky. Let's see what she has in store for us.
We're here at Tim Hortons outside Humber College, and we're going to see if we can find some lucky and unlucky students here at the Roll Up the Rim season.
Oh, Roll Up the Rim. Actually, it's been quite good for this year.
I haven't had any luck with Roll Up the Rim. I buy every morning and I haven't won.
Yeah, I won 4 times.
Oh, wow.
Like coffee.
Oh.
The most I won was a double coffee and a donut. Nothing big.
I drink Timmy's maybe twice, 3 times a day, and I gotta say, twice out of the day I win. I can't lie. Cars, coffees, donuts. No, not cars, just coffee and donuts.
I always forget to roll them up, and it's quite strange.
I've been pretty lucky so far. 3 out of 5. I won free coffee, so.
I could win something, but I just forget to do it.
Do you know anyone that's won a big prize?
Besides in the news, the girl from Saskatchewan that won the car? No.
My uncle won an iPod back in the day, probably 2004, 2005. He won an iPod Nano.
One of my boss's friends actually won like a truck. Yeah, like I think he still drives it today actually.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
My friend always won donuts and other stuff like second coffees for free.
I'm Nurin Yemnu, Skedline.
Thanks for that, Nurin. Animal Day took place yesterday at Humber College as the first of Humber's 4-day recess event. 2 therapy dogs from St. John's Ambulance were in the library for students to pet and play with as stress reliever during midterm week. Skedline reporter Lisa Tria has the story.
Tessa, a black lab corgi mix, and Cricket, a shih tzu, are therapy dogs. They normally work at hospitals and senior residences, but today they're at school to comfort and calm stressed students. Library coordinator Denise was on hand to welcome students.
The library, in partnership with First Year Experience in the International Center, is hosting a 4-day event of stress busters that are happening each day simultaneously at the North and the Lakeshore Library.
There are 2 dogs at the library for Animal Day. Tessa is 3 years old and became a therapy dog in October. Irene is Tessa's owner.
She had such a good temperament that I thought she would be helpful in that area. And she was assessed and passed, and now we visit schools, universities, and a nursing home.
Cricket is 9 years old. She was rescued by her owner, Carolyn, when she was only 4 months and started St. John's Ambulance in 2012.
She works for Safe Haven, which is for extremely disabled children. She probably will be working the Pan Am Games.
Humber student Nat Viner took a study break with the dogs.
You know, everyone's so stressed right now, and just this morning my group had to scramble to finish some projects today. And you know, I'm really stressed for some upcoming midterms. I have 2 more left and then I'm done. But, you know, this little dog is actually really, really nice to have around.
For skedline.com, I'm Elisa Tria.
Thanks, Elisa. Let's see what entertainment host Brian Lee has in store for us today.
Here's your entertainment news for today. Saturday Night Live is coming to China. Sohu.com, a Chinese online video website, teamed up with the show's creator Lauren Michaels to produce a Chinese version of the show. The show is aimed at China's exploding online TV and movie audience with 649 million users. Range of the show's political satire remains to be seen. A celebration for Lunar New Year took place at the Harborfront Center last Sunday to welcome the sheep year. Arishadella has the story.
Lunar Fest is Canada's premier presenter of contemporary expression in Asian arts and culture. This event is to reach new Canadians and those who have been in Canada for many generations to share the diversity of Canada. Built as a festival, Lunar New Year was held at the Harborfront Center last Sunday. I talked to Charlie Wu, the managing director of the Asian Canadian Special Events, about the event.
Well, Lunar Fest is about celebration of Lunar New Year, and it's a celebration that we want to be inclusive and trying to bring different traditions together. Especially here in Canada, we want to make sure we celebrate a diverse, heritage. And since that we're in Canada, we also want to celebrate a Lunar New Year like no other places in the world.
While the Lunar Fest is for the Asian community to bond with their heritage, it is also a way for the communities to get involved and explore a new culture. From Dumpling Festival, where people can learn how to make dumplings and try dumplings from all over the world, to fortune telling. I talked to visitor Kevin Cadley about the event.
Because I think like Lunar Year has become kind of associated just with China. But here they have like Taiwan, Japan, and maybe Korea somewhere. I'm not sure, but I think that's nice just to kind of expand how we think of.
Lunar Fest became one of the best opportunities in the city to participate in the heritage craft workshops. Visitors can learn to make lanterns, pepper sheep, and also buy their own sheep to decorate.
I find the event very great for the community, the area, and it's during winter,
where I feel like there should be a lot more things going on.
To celebrate the Year of the Sheep, Lunar Fest has invited a number of local established artists to share their version of the sheep year.
So what you have seen this year is we have the Year of the Sheep. So we are having a group of herd of sheep, but trying to get people engaged, and so they can bring the sheep home in memories. So they can we have the sheep with them for the whole year.
Lunar Fest is a festival that hopes to bring together soul, art, and life on one stage. Reporting from Harbourfront Center, I'm Arisha Della for Skedline.
Thanks, Della. Justin Bieber is begging Seth Rogen to roast him. Rogen has repeatedly expressed his lack of respect for Bieber in the past after running into him at a German talk show where they both appeared together. After the meeting, Seth Rogen called Bieber a piece of excrement in a tweet. Bieber has been tweeting at Rogen over the past few weeks, pleading for him to bring the ridicule to Bieber's roast, which airs March 30th on the Comedy Network. Rogen has not yet responded to Bieber's request. However, some suspect Rogen may make a surprise appearance on the roast. Rap mogul Marion Suge Knight was hospitalized again after telling a judge that he's suffering from blindness in court. Knight was arrested in January on suspicion of murder after an alleged fatal hit-and-run in the city of Compton where he ran over 2 men with his car. Knight is being held in lieu of $2 million bail. And Kim Kardashian is shooting for her musical dream. Kardashian is said to have recently reached out to classical pianist Oksana Kolesnikova, according to a report from TMZ. Kardashian plans to surprise her husband Kanye West by learning and performing one of his songs, as mentioned on her Twitter. Keeping this a secret from Kanye will be a tough one. That's all for entertainment news. I'm Brian Lee.
Thanks, Brian. Now over to Chelsea Scherer for sports. Toronto Raptors stopped their... Here's your sports highlights for today. Toronto Raptors stopped their 5-game losing streak last night, winning 114-103 against the Philadelphia 76ers. DeMar DeRozan had one of the best games of the season, scoring a high 35 points. This is despite not having their lead point getter, Kyle Lowry. Lou Williams filled in for Lowry at the point guard position, and he put up 21 points in 30 minutes. Sophomore Nerlens Noel from the 76ers played well despite the loss, as he scored 17 points and grabbed 7 rebounds in the game. Raptors host the Cleveland Cavaliers on Wednesday. In more Cavalier news, King James got kicked where the sun doesn't shine. This morning, the NBA announced that the Houston Rockets point guard, James Harden, was suspended 1 game without pay for kicking LeBron James in the groin. Harden got caught playing dirty on the court during Sunday's game against Cleveland. The All-Stars and former Olympic teammates tangled in the third quarter of Houston's 105-103 victory over the Cavs when he kicked James. Harden was only given a foul during the game, but the NBA League office upgraded the penalty yesterday, which would have had Harden ejected from the game if it was called then. Big names in trades were made yesterday. Former Oilers defenseman Jeff Petrie was traded to the Montreal Canadiens. So far this season, Petrie has played 60 games and scored 4 goals in a total of 15 points. He previously played for the Oilers for 5 seasons. Petrie played against a newly acquired face when Montreal was in San Jose last night. Right winger Ben Smith was traded to the San Jose Sharks. The 26-year-old previously played for the Chicago Blackhawks for 5 years. Last night, Smith scored his first goal for the Sharks against the Habs, winning 4-0. Despite James Wisniewski was traded to the Anaheim Ducks, he's already played for the Chicago Blackhawks, the New York Islanders, the Canadiens, and the Blue Jackets. He has a career total of 7 points in the NHL postseason during his playing time. And for the cute factor during the trade deadline, Jordan Leopold's daughter got her wish granted. Defenseman Jordan Leopold was traded to the Minnesota Wild after his 11-year-old daughter wrote a letter to the administration.
In the letter, she says, "We are living in Minnesota right now, and I am lost without my dad. It has been since November, and we cannot take it anymore." Previously a Blue Jackets defenseman, Leopold will now be able to see his family more. Turning back to the NHL in Canada, the Leafs will be playing the Florida Panthers tonight at 7:30 p.m. in the BB&T Center. And in baseball, spring training is here, and the Toronto Blue Jays Team Grey beat Team Blue 1-0 at yesterday's practice game. And on Monday, it marked the first time R.A. Dickey pitched to Canadian catcher Russell Martin. Dickey pitched a scoreless first inning. Dickey has previously said that the combination of Martin's athletic ability and willingness to learn to catch his knuckleball will lead to better on-field results. With spring training set to kick off today, the Blue Jays did play the Pittsburgh Pirates this afternoon in Florida. That's your sports update. I'm Chelsea Scherer. Now back to the studio.
Thanks for that, Chelsea. Now let's go to Melis Mevlutoglu for the weather.
Thanks, Sarah. Even though the calendar says spring is around the corner, we might want to keep our hats and mitts out for the next few days. We're expecting some snow later on today with a high of -1 and a low of -4. I went out and spoke to some locals at the dog park as well as some commuters about the weather today.
17 more days till spring, so that's pretty exciting. My dog loves the cold. Yep, she preferred being out here than indoors.
I come from Scarborough, so out there the TTC sucks, and I needed the RT. It never worked, so this morning I took a shuttle bus to Kennedy. But from Kennedy to Kipling, and it was freezing. I was freezing my butt off.
I think it's colder by the lake because of lake effect. That's about it. Because I notice it does get colder when I come down here. So.
Even though it might be a chilly day for us, it seems like those dogs are surely enjoying the weather today. It looks like we might have some more sunlight heading our way this week. Wednesday is going to be a mix of sun and clouds with a high of -1 and a low of -13. Thursday is going to be somewhat similar but a bit chillier with a high of -8 and a low of -16. Friday looks like it's going to be mostly sunny with a high of -7 and a low of -18. Saturday will be changing up the forecast a little bit with some scattered flurries. We're going to be expecting a high of 0 and a low of -10. Going back to a mix of sun and clouds, Sunday will be a high of 0 and a low of -8. That's it for today's 5-day forecast. Make sure you stay bundled up and keep warm. I'm Melis Mevlutoglu, now back to the studio.
Thanks, Melis. Looks like I'll have to bundle up this weekend. For more information on our stories, head over to skedline.com. I'm Sequeira. Until next time.